Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fridays with Father. Father Gary here. It's good to be with you again on another Friday. As I've reflected on almost a year now that we've been in this situation of reduced masses, and we went from March to June with no public masses and just online. I've recognized how much goes on behind the scenes that makes what we do, both in terms of masses, but also faith formation and other elements of the life of the parish. A lot of it goes on behind the scenes. And I'm aware of that here on a local level. I'm also aware of it on a statewide level, a national level as well. We've gotten great support from the Archdiocese, as I've told you in the past, around this time and just helping us walk through COVID and how to gather safely. You're probably aware, I've tried to make you aware, but I'll remind you that behind the scenes, the Archbishop and the task force at the Archdiocese has worked very closely with the Governor's office and other religious organizations to make sure that we are in conversation with them as we reopen here. So a lot of behind the scenes things happening to make that possible. That was also brought to mind a few weeks ago when I participated in an online convention, if you will, that I've often participated in person in Washington, D.C., called the Catholic Social Ministry Gathering. I started going to those some 20 years ago when I had a position as a layperson at the Chancery in the Archdiocese of Seattle. I was the director for Peace and Justice Ministry for the diocese, and started going to this wonderful gathering of different organizations and wonderful keynote speeches. But really the focus of the gathering was to meet with our senators and representatives around issues that were important on the legislative agenda for the Catholic Church. And so a lot of the behind the scenes things that you might not be aware of is the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops has two different offices that work with our government directly in promoting things of Catholic values. And there's a domestic policy organization and an international policy organization. So I share all that with you because that gathering was virtual this year, and haven't been able to go back to Washington, D.C. for a number of years. In fact, I think the last time I was there was 2013 for this gathering. So it was nice to be able to join our delegation from Washington State in a virtual Catholic Social Ministry gathering, and then also to meet with staff from Senator Murray's office and Senator Cantwell's office. And just to give you a sense of some of the issues that are, again, behind the scenes issues that the Catholic Church really tries to lobby for. And you won't be surprised that it's all about protecting and helping the most vulnerable among us. And I say it's behind the scenes because it's not always the kinds of things that get the biggest press. The biggest press usually, unfortunately, both in the Catholic media, but also definitely in the secular press, are things of controversy. I mean, that's what really excites people. Well, what we do behind the scenes and what the U.S. bishops do behind the scenes is much more mundane, but also crucial in a democracy. And so, for example, the items that we talked with Senator Murray's staff and Senator Cantwell's staff about was that the COVID relief bill, for example, needed to include as much relief and support for the poorest among us, the most vulnerable among us, that should be the focus of that bill. Now, we don't always get exactly what we want in legislation, but it's important to give voice to Catholic values, and that's certainly a Catholic value. The other thing on the international policy side in the COVID relief bill is that we really pushed for more foreign aid, particularly around COVID relief. As you might be aware, there's a real concern that in the developing world, they're sort of at the back of the line in terms of getting enough vaccines. And so we pushed for $20 billion for international aid in this COVID relief package. And $20 billion, it sounds like a lot of money to you and me, but if you remember, this COVID relief package is $1.9 trillion. And so in the scheme of things, it's a pretty small percentage. So we're very hopeful that we can, get that amount in there. So just two examples of things that we really lobbied for in this bill. I want to share with you that that happens not only at the national level, but it happens at the local level as well here in Washington State. And there's an organization called the Washington State Catholic Conference, which is the public policy arm of the bishops of Washington State. So all of the bishops of Washington State, not just the bishops of the Archdiocese of Seattle, but all three dioceses in Washington State make up the Washington State Catholic Conference. That's pretty typical throughout the country. So, for example, there's an Oregon Catholic Conference, there's a California Catholic Conference, etc. And so that public policy arm does the same thing on a statewide level that the U.S. bishops' two offices, domestic and international. Now, there's not an international equivalent in the state offices, but they do the same thing. They lobby for those values that are important to us. And each year, we have an opportunity to participate in a very similar process on a local level with our state representatives that I described in the level of the federal representatives that we did in Washington, D.C. a few weeks ago. Again, the Catholic Advocacy Day is what it's called. It's on March 23rd this year. You can register. The last day to register is March 9th, but you can register, and again, it's all virtual this year, which I hope will open it up to many, many more people. So we will participate again this year. It will be an opportunity. The day begins with Mass with the Archbishop, and that can be seen a live stream from the Archdiocesan website. And then some public policy briefings from our lobbyists, our Catholic lobbyists in Olympia, giving us an overview of what they would like us to talk with our local representatives about. And then we gather virtually with those representatives depending on what legislative district that we live in. So it's a marvelous opportunity for us to give voice to Catholic values within our state government. So really encourage you. There's information on our website and the bulletin about how to register. It's very easy, and then a wonderful group of organizations organize this, and they would be in touch with direct appointments with representatives. So I hope you take advantage of that. And then one last push, as now, by the time you see this on Friday, our school auction, our virtual auction, will be underway. You can still register. It goes until 5 p.m. on March 10th, which is next Thursday. Is it next Thursday? Next Wednesday. I think the 10th is Wednesday, sorry. So I really encourage you to join us. It's a marvelous way to support our school. And when I say support our school, it's the largest fundraiser that we have every year, and that fundraiser is designed to keep our school as accessible as possible, to keep tuition as low as possible, and to make as much financial aid available as possible. So I hope you join us. Again, you can register either on the school website, or we have a link on our parish website as well for for our school auction. And for those of you who don't have children in the school, I really encourage you to join us. And there are lots of packages that have nothing to do with the school. There's a raffle that you can enter into for wonderful weekend in Astoria. So I hope you take some time and just join us. This could be, in some ways, the most accessible and I'm hoping the most successful financially auction that we've ever had. So commend that to you. Well, I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Our 3 Masses, 9 a.m. in English, 11:30 a.m. in Spanish. Both of those Masses are live streamed as well. And then Sunday evening Mass in English at 5 p.m. Also ask you to keep our elect in your prayers now as they make their way to the Easter sacraments. We will celebrate on Sunday night the first of 3 what are called scrutinies, which are just prayers of cleansing and preparation for these 4 elect. So please keep them in your prayers as well. Look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Have a good weekend. God bless.